Hi everyone, Mitch from PickDawgz.com here with Mike Costi-Saphir here with today's sharp trading plays for week 3 of the NFL football season. Of course, sharp trading plays is a new high-end product that we have here at PickDawgz. Of course, at PickDawgz, we have something for everyone, but that doesn't mean every product is for everyone. Sharp trading plays, kind of the equivalent to our Dime Club, but a high volume type product. That's the way I try and describe it. It's really kind of the type of thing where you really kind of have to experience it, tune into the shows, and of course, Mike always there to help you out. All you got to do is dial in and give him a call. Mike, how's it going today?
Oh, love it, man. It's Tuesdays is my weekend. I could actually breathe a little bit, but for some reason, usually Tuesday nights is when we try to get the plays in for NFL for the weekend, but already released 5 games today, and it's very early on Tuesday. So looking at some sharp lines right now.
Well, you can always join Sharp Trading Plays or find out more about Sharp Trading Plays. Just text the number that you see on the screen, call the number on the screen. You're going to talk to a live person, more than likely. It's going to be this guy sitting right next to me. So, we don't just sit there and, stick some people from, the Philippines or something on the phone and pretend that you're talking to us. We're real people, and we certainly don't run from you. We're there to win with you. So we're excited about this sharp trading plays. I can't even express it. But, the sharp trading plays, the thing about it that you're going to have to remember as a bettor, that this isn't for the person who wants to put $25 on the Cowboys and watch the game and win that way. This is high volume trading. So this is almost like a stock market portfolio where you check the balance of the portfolio maybe once a week or every few days, as opposed to going play by play by play by play by play, because there is a lot of information here. Is there a better way to say it, Mike?
I mean, you nailed it. I mean, I wouldn't even check it weekly. The volatility is still pretty high, but 30-day intervals usually will give you an accurate description for any new member that would join that's been a member for a week or a month or a year or joining tomorrow. That's a big enough sample size where most people could overcome the volatility.
Yeah, I think, when I was at Bet Bash this year and I talked to a lot of people that do this sort of thing, most of them said the same thing to me, that it was like, I don't watch play by play. Once in a while, I'll get something down. I'll have enough outs to really get something down that can move the needle, and that's something that I really care about, and those are the ones I write down and remember. But most of the time it's just a checking of the balance here and there and making sure that I'm up more months than I'm down, and I think that's the end result there. You're certainly not going to win every play with sharp trading plays, but it's a system that's built to basically take that edge away from the books. The books don't win money on every single game out there, but over time, if you play the game that they want you to play, they're going to beat you. If you play sharp trading plays the way that you're supposed to play them, you will turn that table on the books, because you'll take that house edge away from them, and actually they'll become the square and you're the sharp on them. And that's just the difference with it. So while the books don't like sharp trading plays, they certainly don't appreciate us as customers, at least not on the apps. I think in the book they're generally okay with us in the Vegas ones, the big ones. But most of the other ones, they'd rather have recreational bettors, which is people that
Well,
lose a lot of money.
surprisingly, that was one of the two factors. We started the show last week, was the first time we actually did this show. And two of the line moves that I gave out on the show last week moved drastically, exactly where you're talking about. Atlanta Falcons was given out at +1.5. I even said on the show I gave it out to clients and on multiple shows throughout the week at +1.5. That line steamed all the way to laying 3 at home. They didn't cover
That
it.
was at post. It went to 3. So
Yep.
it
Yeah.
was, but it was still, it ended up being a 1 point game that the Falcons won by 1 point. So, I mean, if you got in on that side of it, you were a winner. And if you got on if you were late to the party, and you didn't see that line move coming, you lost money.
That, and then the other one, which the big dilemma all over the social media platforms of the Rams game. Why did they go for the 3 when there was no time for them to kick an onside kick to get within 7? Most bettors pushed on the game. We got it at +8 on Tuesday of last week. So you're talking about getting that better line consistently. Again, this is not a proven theory where I'm going to win just because I'm closing good on the games at post. But if you have that sharp line most of the time, you're going to win a lot more than you lose.
Now, what we see a lot of times is that a lot of people that, in today's betting world, where there's a lot more information available to the casual bettor, the recreational bettor than there's ever been before. What they believe to see as, public percentages, ticket percentages, etc. If you're buying it from a $10 app, more than likely you're getting $10 a month worth of information, which is about 30 cents a day's worth, while, the pros are spending much, much more and getting much, much better information than that, along with the inside whispers that they're getting from other people in the industry as they share that information. Now, it's not freely shared among each other, but you have certain friends, they owe you one. Hey, this is I got one for you. I'm paying you back, and you pay them back, and it's like we're in it together. But then again, they don't want me moving the line on them either. But what we have, today is the lines are out. We'll just go over it quickly. And, we'll stop a little bit and talk about some of this other really interesting stuff. I believe that what Mike and I are going to do, along with some other people, as well as Eric Pathy from the Dime Club and our own Al McMorty, we're going to be doing daily shows and daily content regarding sharp trading plays, syndicate betting, and things of that nature. The Dime Club and a new package for some all access to some of our top tier cappers like Al McMorty. I'm really excited about that. So just a little teaser of tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But anyways, we've got the San Francisco 49ers for the casual fan looking super impressive so far this season. Did not get the cover last week thanks to Sean McVay, but if you got in early and you got the Rams, if you watched last week's show, you had the Rams +8 and cashed on the Rams. This week it's the Giants getting double digits, 10 points with Saquon Barkley on the sidelines.
I'm seeing 10 across the board. At Pinnacle, I am seeing 11, but that's an alternate line. Mostly 10s. Don't really see a lot of value here. This is not one of the games the sharps are jumping on a lot of times with double-digit spreads. You'll notice a lot of sharps jump on that. This is going to be a wait-and-see approach as we get closer to Thursday.
Any concern here, just real quickly, we're going to try and get through the games quickly, but any concern here with, from what I see as, some public action and a large amount of tickets on the 49ers and the line not moving? Is that something that we look at as well?
It's funny because I usually don't look at public money till the day of. Usually days ahead, it's a lot of sharp money. I don't put a lot of emphasis in that. I do see that the Barkley injury is factored into the spread. So like I said, with this one, I'm just going to wait and see what happens come Thursday. If I can get some extra value, I'll jump on it. But for right now, I'm just letting it go.
Any plans on sharing any college plays with us throughout the week?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure.
You heard it. I see how it works. I'm on your side, guys. I'm in too. We've got the Minnesota Vikings up against the LA Chargers. Looking at about some zeros, some halves laid by the Chargers and -1 as well to the Vikings. So this one, a little bit on both sides. Anything here?
I'm looking at, again, Pinnacle is 1 with the Chargers. You're seeing a lot of pick'ems out there. This is one of those coin flip games. Again, 2 teams that are struggling to get the win out there. If you see a home team dog in this scenario and you're getting a lot of value at 2.5, if it ever moves that, which I don't think it will, that's definitely a Minnesota Vikings play. I'm actually going to give out all 5 plays on this show because it's early in the week and I want clients to get value. So this isn't one of them, but we're going to wait and see on this one as they see the line moves throughout the week.
All right. So we've got, by the way, the Westgate, that first game at the Westgate, the 49ers opened at 9.5. It's gone 10. This line opened -2.5 for the Chargers. It's about even across the board with Minnesota at home. At least the Westgate opening line. We look at the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans. Of course, the Browns, Nick Chubb now gone. Of course, sharp trading plays. They don't care about players. It's not fantasy football. This is sharp trading plays, a little bit different story. And like I've tried to explain last week, and I'll continue to say, I do betting syndicate. I'm involved in betting syndicate, so I'm not even sure what some of those plays are that they're betting for me. I just kind of put my money there, and it's a proven system that works. So it's possible on Sunday when I'm betting as I do, I could be on the other side of where my big money's at. But that's the better in me. So it's like that's more my slush fund, and the other one is my real money.
Right. And it's more of a financial asset more so than entertainment because of the high volume. It's really hard to get into a lot of the things. I mean, NFL maybe, but with college, it gets a little overwhelming. But love the Browns here. This is one of the plays that we gave out. Love the flat three. If you could get it at reduced juice, I'm looking at a lot of different places that you can get minus 110, minus 105. So they're out there and it's factored in. A lot of times you could tell by the line. I base a lot of my stuff off Circa. There's been a little bit of movement here, but we just love the pricing on this game, getting that key number and not going over. And the reality is the backup forward, he's going to do just fine. It's not that much of a downgrade for the team itself, even though Chubb is a better player, but it's factored in already in the spread and loved Cleveland's spot here at a flat three.
Down from 4.5 from a very high level of handicapping on this because I haven't handicapped the game fully. It's Tuesday. I'm still waiting for the rest of those little nicks and bruises, to shake out for that. But from a straight handicapping standpoint, the Browns gave up points on Monday night. The defense didn't. It was the offense that gave up the points. It was 2 defensive scores by the Browns, by the Steelers in that game. So. I always have I love some good defense. We got the Jags taking on the Texans. From a fan standpoint, the Texans are the worst team in the NFL this year. And the Jaguars coming off of that game against the Kansas City Chiefs where, I don't know, man. As a fan, I just can't explain the coaching decision. I mean, I had the Chiefs in the game. It was fine with me. But it's like you're up 3-0. There's less than 2 minutes left to go in the half, but close to 2 minutes. You're on the 45-yard line. It's 4th and 5, and you go for it. You get sacked, and you give Patrick Mahomes the ball with 1 minute and 40 seconds left before the half at midfield. I mean, you might as well just sign your death warrant. You're not going to win if you do that.
And I think a lot of coaches, when they play the Kansas City Chiefs, have that mindset where if they don't get points on the board, they're not going to win the game. I think that's a little too early. Obviously, situational football was terrible there, but that's one of those things where you just gotta, you gotta pray that he gets the first down, or you're probably going to see the Patrick Mahomes come down and score pretty easily. So, not things that I really look into that much when I'm looking at lines, but certain situational football plays a role, and that's why key numbers are so important to follow. In situations like last night, Carolina within 3 gets the cover on a push, not a cover, but it gets the push because they're playing situational football to get within that field goal.
On this one, though, we've got Jacksonville and Houston 9.5s. I see 1-9 and an offshore with heavy juice. Anything on this one? It's a rising line from the Westgate Open.
7.5. Yeah, opened up at 7.5 all the way up to 9.5. I do see a lot of sharp money that moved on it. One of the big books, Circa, has it at 9.5, and that's one that I really follow the movement. And not a play on this game by any means, but it's just one of those rising lines that, in reality, a lot of times if you're starting to see some 10.5s, 11s, Texans might be a great team to jump on. So another wait and see approach with this one.
I only look at Circa, Westgate, Pinnacle, and Bet Chris as my lines, and then I look to see if anyone else has anything else. Is that a safe way to look at it?
That's the only books that I look at. Everything else is pretty much recreational. DraftKings.
Those are the people we know, and the people we know, this is in our circle. These are what the people say.
Well, those sharp books don't back winners out. So what happens is when the line moves, it's a sharp move versus when you're looking at a DraftKings line or a FanDuel line, it's a recreational book and they back winners out. So you can't really trust the movement nearly as much. You're just looking for pricing. If DraftKings has a better price, then you're going to bet it there. That's where the outs come into place. The more outs you have, the more opportunities you have to get a better pricing on each single wager you put in.
Well, the Jets take on New England. This is a divisional rivalry. This one in the Meadowlands. and the Jets anywhere from 2.5 to 3 point home dogs.
It's incredible how 2 weeks could swing a season, but divisional game, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have this play, but if I see a lot of 3.5s out there come the weekend, absolutely will jump over the Jets in a divisional rivalry at home. No matter who the quarterback is, they play great defense. The Patriots are not nearly as good. Seeing the last 2 weeks that could blow out or even win games. So getting that home field advantage and that hook on the three would be a key factor for me to jump on it. But for right now, again, just going to pass.
Here's an interesting one, as once again it involves the Green Bay Packers, who seem to be the wacky line move team of the early season this year. The Packers, I'm seeing anywhere between 1.5 and 2. I show the Westgate opened at 3 and the Circa opened at 1.5. So someone was ahead of the other one, but it seems like the line is comfortable right in between those two numbers.
Well, I think that's because the line opens up actually before last night's game, before the Saints even played the game. You could bet on the week ahead.
Oh, that's
So when
true.
that happens, you're getting that advantage of some opened up at a different price. They saw the performance of the Saints. They saw they stink, and people jumped on it fairly quickly. So that's going to get that difference, usually that Monday night team. But no play on this game. You're seeing a little bit of movement, but it's all standardized play, standardized movement that I'm seeing across the board. I'm going to sit back on this one as well. Not something that I'm really intrigued about with the spread and the matchup. So unless I see better pricing, I'm going to lay off.
I'll be asking Eric Pathy all about the 2-0s on the road and the 0-2s and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure he's got a lot to say about it. It's always a lot to say in a little bit amount of time, except with Eric, it's a lot to say in a lot of time.
Do you have one of those horns that can go off when it's time? You just squeeze the horn.
Yeah, we need like one of those chess. It's like chess timer. Sorry, checkmate.
Checkmate, right.
No, but I tell you, the thing about it is that Eric, he has so much information and so much knowledge that he's able to just really pack it in. And it's just like he gets so carried away with it and so excited about it that it's like he doesn't know, he doesn't want to edit himself. It's not that he doesn't know when to edit himself. He has no interest in editing it. So, we've all picked up some good information since Eric's joined the team. Got the Dolphins 2-0, their home opener here against the Denver Broncos. My guess it's going to be about 650 degrees at 1 o'clock in Miami Gardens. Anything on this one? 6.5 with the 0-2 Denver Broncos.
Yeah, they steamed 1.5 almost from the opening line at 5.5. This is a scenario where over the key numbers, 7.5s, 8s. A lot of 8s I'll probably take. I don't really particularly like the 6.5s and 7s with juiced up pricing. And we all know playing on the road in Miami is brutal. I'll take 10 points. No, I'm just kidding. We talked about this last week, but this is another one. I'm just going to wait and see. No action thus far.
As a handicapper, I'm going to wait and see if Phillips is playing for the Dolphins. He did not play last week. And, while he's not a running back or wide receiver or quarterback, he is certainly a guy that impacts the game in a big way because we saw Bradley Chubb come up big on the pass rush. But with Phillips in there, everybody is better. So he's possibly the Dolphins' best defender already at this point. But anyways, move on. Washington, the 2-0 Washington Commanders host the Buffalo Bills in what, for the fans, one of the better matchups on the entire card. You kind of have Josh Allen, who was very turnover prone in his first matchup that was on the road. Now he goes back on the road after winning at home very impressively. And then you have the Commanders who, I don't know, Bieniemy and Rivera might just be the combination here because I think, that 35-33 was super impressive for a high-scoring game like that.
They put up a lot of points on a supposed to be good Denver Broncos defense, and it was very impressive. And the Bieniemy effect is definitely in effect now. So I see it through the way that, with the tight ends, with the screens and getting just in that zone. It's typically what you've seen in Kansas City for many years. Listen, getting 7.5 lined open at 6.5. Now I'm seeing there's a couple sevens out there. I could assure you, if it gets to 7.5 and I'm getting reduced juice, I will be jumping all over this on a home dog. That is getting a lot of value specifically for a team that I think is trending upward.
Yeah, I see it. I see a 5.5 open at Westgate, so it really has jumped significantly in this one. Um, the Bills, coming off very impressive performance. We play a game in our morning show, and it's we started this week, and it is I'd rather have him than Jerry Jeudy, and then we just basically name all the wide receivers on every team. It's like,
I like that game.
Oh yeah, it's because one of our competitors, one of his early season or preseason, value futures was Jerry Jeudy for offensive MVP. But as we have basically figured out on the morning show, MVP of the AFC, offensive MVP. Yeah, I was like, I'll book your action on that one.
Right.
But because what we've determined on the morning show through really not that deep of research and not that difficult, he doesn't rank in the top 50 of NFL wide receivers.
No.
Not even the top 50.
Can't get open, nothing.
No, you go through any set of wide receivers on any team and you say, who would I rather have, Garrett Wilson or Jerry Jeudy? Who would you rather have? Right. Who would you rather have, Chris Olave or Jerry Jeudy? Any Ohio State wide receiver or Jerry Jeudy? Who would you rather have, Tyreek Hill or Jerry Jeudy? Who would you rather have, Waddle or Jerry Jeudy? Who would you rather have?
You're being very generous with these or Jerry Jeudy. I would even go Dotson or Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. Well, what about
Flowers or Jerry Jeudy?
Right. But we said Zay Flowers clearly played better than Jerry Jeudy. But almost anybody, because it came down to we got down all the way down to Amari Cooper or Jerry Jeudy, and then we had to rescind the draw because Cooper played pretty well last night, better than anything we've seen from Jerry Jeudy.
Oh, I thought you meant with Cooper not playing, still better than Jerry Jeudy.
No, Cooper last night I thought played better and kind of elevated him once again above Jerry Jeudy in our book, And it's our new fun game in the morning. It's like anybody, it's like I'd rather have him than Jerry Jeudy. It's like because our competitor, Mr. Know-It-All. I'd love to find that clip on Twitter. It was a video
That's
clip.
Hilarious.
Oh, it's pathetic. It's like, where does it end? Anyways, where it ends, Jared Goff and Desmond Ridder. The Lions, when you look back at that game, it was the pick six that really was the undoing for them. Meanwhile, the Falcons, as we talked about, found a way, but they only won by 1 point, which made us winners at plus points here. And you could have got it at plus points for most of the week. It didn't invert until later on. But this week, the Falcons undefeated, 3-point dogs. This one down from 6 at the Westgate Open. 4.5 was the Circa Open. Now we're seeing 3s and 3.5s.
I can't believe that it's going down. I thought that I thought that more of the tickets would be all over the Lions and it would be going up. I'm shocked. This is a game that I love. With the price at 3, you could get it at reduced juice. I see 110s, 110 all over the place. Home game, Desmond Ridder on the road. It's a different animal. I think the Lions are even better than what they've shown. They have a lot more in the tank, and they played a close game last week. So love the 3 at home. It's funny as people they judge us by saying, well, what's the difference? 3.5, 4. It is a difference. It's a difference in the scheme of 1,000 different wagers. So you stay disciplined, you stay committed, you're going to make a lot of money doing this.
I think it's the Lions defense that's scaring people because they were so porous last year. And we saw kind of a lot of those same openings with Geno Smith finding DK Metcalf basically wide open whenever he wanted him. So I think that's a little bit of the concern there. We go to Baltimore where your Ravens are undefeated, beating the Bengals last week. I can't believe I talked myself off that as a premium pick personally. I bet the Ravens but did not give it out as a premium play for a reason I still can't explain to myself. I mean, it just was an outright gift. And then up against the Colts, who were my top play of the week last week, it was a fade of Houston more than anything else, though. This week, the Ravens, a large favorite, but still a slight drop in the line from the open against the Colts, where Anthony Richardson, I'm going to guess he's
Man,
not going to play.
yeah, he's not going to play. But like I said on the show, I think with Jay last week, where Richardson not playing even last week because he got hurt week one, Minshew is not that much of a downgrade. And you saw that when he came in and he threw a touchdown. So it's factored into the spread. Don't really see a lot of line movement on this. I'm not particularly playing, even though I'm a Ravens fan at heart. I bet with my brain, not my heart. So in this case, I don't see a lot of line movements. If I see it down to a 7, don't see it ever going there. It's an auto bet with us, but I'm just going to sit tight on this one and just be a fan if I don't have any action on the game to see my Ravens go to 3-0.
Well, I would have to ask for the fans out there, for the people just watching sharp trading plays, where the product might not be for them. It might be too expensive or whatever the case may be. They just want to see what we're talking about here on the show and things like that. I have to ask you then, about the Ravens and, what'd you think about Lamar throwing the football? I thought he looked fantastic throwing the football last week. I don't know if it was Flowers or whatever the case may be. Better wide receivers, better fit with him. He seemed to be better throwing the football than he has for a couple of years.
Well, I think Todd Monken called an amazing game. I saw a lot of the Georgia style offense where they got the wide receivers are just developing those inside the hash lines, getting in those zone coverages, and then having enough depth and speed on the outside like Zay Flowers to stretch the defense. So that underneath was there most of the game for Aguilar. Even with Odell hurt, didn't matter. But yeah, he looked phenomenal. Lamar
24 of 33, two
looked great.
touchdowns, no interceptions, and then he also ran for 54 yards just for the fun of it. And I'll tell you, on some of those throws, it looked like he was going to run, and I love that. That's
Keep his eyes down the field.
yeah.
And it's the Andrews effect. Having Andrews spreads, you just can't double down and take out Zay Flowers or even take out Bateman. Now you have to really put a guy or even put two guys, a safety and a linebacker on Andrews. So it just opens up the field altogether.
Well, that was, as a fan, I had to ask, and of course, the way my Dolphins are playing, it's a potential AFC Championship matchup there with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. I think owes the home crowd here a little bit better effort than we saw last time from him when he had to leave the game to go to the bathroom. We've got Seattle against Carolina. Seattle, man, they bounced back big from that home loss to the Rams. We've got Carolina, who I don't think they're worse than Houston, but they're not a lot better than Houston. They have maybe a better defense than Houston. The offense is a little bit better than Houston, but I'm not really sure if they are or not. But Geno Smith, after losing their home opener, the line jumped up big in this game from the open.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got to be the worst quarterback out of the rookies by far. It just looks inept. That's why you're seeing the line steam up. It's got to be public money. I don't see any of my sharp groups that are on this game whatsoever, but the line's steaming up because they saw, usually the bettors see the performance of last night and they see how horrid the team plays, and it's an overreaction a lot of times. And that's why the Seahawks are steaming up. They won, the Panthers lost. So now you're going to see an overinflated line. Again, not jumping on this one whatsoever, just going to wait and see. But that's usually the overreaction after 24 hours from the game, why you're seeing that inflation.
All right, we've got Arizona and Dallas, an undefeated Cowboys team, arguably one of the top 5 teams so far in the NFL. Some people have them as number 1, up against Arizona, who find a way to lose against the same Giants team that Dallas blew out of the building. It's the old we beat them and they beat you sort of thing going on here. But you've got a double-digit home dog that is winless up against an undefeated. And, of course, yeah, Arizona, before they had the Cardinals, kind of the asterisk city, the Cowboys were always their adopted team. So a lot of Cowboy fans in Arizona.
They travel well altogether with Dallas. I mean, in every stadium, it seems like they take up a good quarter of the stadium. They travel really well, like the Steelers. But in this situation, I don't have any actual information or play on the game, but I could tell you it's going to be an auto bet if he gets to 14. Sharps love double digits. They especially love double-digit dogs in the NFL at home. So you're going to start, if you see it, a lot of times there's auto bet scenarios. There's a period for a year straight, a couple years ago, with it. One of our groups had the Browns every single week, and no matter what's an auto bet. And I had certain clients literally telling me, why are you taking them if you're losing the bet? Because we're not betting with an opinion, we're betting with a number. And we use that formula over 1,000 different games. And if we stick to our disciplined formula, we always win. And it's uniquely the guys that treat it like a business and understand what we do, they get it. We're here to pick off market inefficiencies, and the ones that follow our lead make a lot of money, just like yourself.
Yep, that's for sure. It's a system. You kind of have to go with the system and kind of just put those to the side, and you have your other bets. Like I have my Circa picks. I have those other ones. I don't look at what's being done on the sharp trading plays. I only look at the balance at the end of. I look at mine every week, but Mike looks at his even less, which means he probably has more money than I do. But anyways, that's which is okay. We're not keeping score. But anyways, we move on, and we've got the Chiefs taking on the Bears. Now, the Chiefs losers in Week 1, Patrick Mahomes went right back to Ladarius Toney after that Week 1 performance and hit him early and often. And, of course, Doug Peterson, like I mentioned earlier, some questionable coaching decisions as far as punting, not punting. And he paid the Patrick price in that one. And, the Chiefs with the cover on the road in Jacksonville against a pretty public dog in that game. The Jaguars were. Now, another team in the bottom 5 of the NFL, the winless Bears, who were disgusting in Week 1 against the Packers and not much better against the Bucs, come in here as getting a dozen and change. It opened a baker's dozen at Circa and has dropped a half a point there.
Yeah, another one that we're laying off at. It's just a lot of just public money, moving it around. I just don't see any value whatsoever on either side. Some people think I'm crazy. Why not take the Chiefs? Yeah, a lot of people could tell me that next Monday. But reality is, if you play double-digit dogs in the NFL, you're going to win a lot more than you lose over a large sample size. I want to be very clear when I say that. It's not week to week or game to game, large sample size. So, and you never know. You never know if it's a Justin Fields type of day where he rushes for 150. We haven't had that this year, and he finally connects with DJ Moore. So time will tell, but I'm laying off this one altogether.
Well, you can see the wagging tail in the background. Someone heard the word dog, and they're right here with me. Anyways, someone's been in the pool, soaking wet. Anyways, we've got Vegas taking on Pittsburgh. How many times are we going to see the Immaculate Reception replay during this game? I like the over, or the reference to it. -1.5 here for the home team, the Raiders. 1-1 on the season. Their first home game of the year. They opened with back-to-back road games, getting blown out in front of the Bills Mafia last week. But here come the Steelers, 1-1. It was all defense, and T.J. Watt showing why he's one of the best players in the league and probably a Hall of Famer at this point.
Definitely great defense. They're poised. I love the fact that it opened up at Steelers favored by 1.5. Now they're getting 1.5. I love this play at 2. I found it actually a little earlier today where I got the Steelers getting 2. I'm all over this one. I think they're the better team, the better defense, and not a big Kenny Pickett fan, but if they play within their system and they actually play a game plan and not let him make a lot of mistakes, they could easily win this one by 6-7.
We moved to Monday night, not a place where a lot of teams are going to want to be playing in the near future after the last 3 Monday nights where DeMar Hamlin leaves the game with a heart attack that stopped the game. Aaron Rodgers, possible career-ending injury, definitely a season-ending injury. And then, of course, last night, Nick Chubb, probably a career-ending injury for him in that game with the Browns and the Steelers. Got Tampa Bay against Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts on the road with the Eagles, who, they've had extended time off here because they played on Thursday night and now they play on Monday.
line opened up. Steelers 6.5. It's now down to 5.5. Pretty flat across the board. All the sharps don't really see a lot of movement of why they jumped on this game because they haven't yet. And a lot of times sharps completely lay off island games. They stay away from that board. Usually that Thursday night, when I say island game, it's that game that's by itself. So either Thursday by itself or Monday night. In this case, again, we have a double Monday night game. But usually they stay off island games altogether, or they wait till the actual load comes in from the public betting over the weekend and Sunday. And if they see it moving to their favor, then they'll bet it Monday.
Yeah, if you're a futures better, not independent of sharp trading plays, put a little something on Baker Mayfield for comeback player of the year. Thank me later on that one. We always have we hate the saying "thank me later" because what if you actually lose the play? It's like, what do you do then? Kick me in the teeth later? It's like but
right.
But that's why we always say it. I want to get my next license plate when I change it will be "thank me later," or if I get a boat, it will be called "thank me later." But the next game, the biggest line mover on the board is this one: the Bengals and the Rams. It looks to be, they say TBD, but that means NJB, no Joe Burrow in this one, because we see a line that opened 7.5 at the Westgate, 6 at the Circa, and is down to 2 and 1.5 at Westgate. So 2.5 at FanDuel in New Jersey. I'm showing 2 at the Circa and 1.5 at the Westgate.
Yeah, I love the play. I love the home team. I think that regardless if Joe Burrow plays or not, they're going to play a lot tougher than you think. And then the Rams traveling all the way across the country will be much harder to play on a Monday night game like it usually is, just because it's a lot of travel. And the Rams are struggling. Even though they have a good offense, they're definitely still struggling right now without Cooper Kupp. And right now I got them at 1. So the Bengals at 1 is definitely good pricing, so I'm all over that.
From a traditional handicapping standpoint and looking at the matchup itself, like I said, I haven't gone through the games. I watched all the games. You guys know I'm a game watcher. It's a big part of what I do. But I would say watch the status of Nakua for that game. He was serious pain coming off the field in that game. He eventually had to leave the game, and he stood on the sideline for several minutes after the game, and it wasn't in stunned disbelief that they lost the game or stunned disbelief that they spiked the ball with 3 seconds left to go and kicked a meaningless field goal that wasn't so meaningless for a lot of us. It was that I believe that he had broken his ribs and couldn't move, is what it looked like. So I would say watch his status, because without Kupp and without him, then you got Matthew Stafford, who looked good, but I mean, he threw it to Nakua how many times in that game? So,
they call him the Polynesian Cooper Kupp.
Right, and but I believe that he's not going to play this week. I think he looked. I mean, if he does play, it'll be a miracle of science, because
might be a decoy or very limited, and that's a big factor for them.
I don't think he can move. I honestly don't think he can move.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you.
I don't know what they're listing him as so far in this thing. I'll have to take a look. But so my guess is that Costy's camera has overheated on him. He's got a bad setting there. But anyways, thanks everyone for joining us on the Sharp Trading Plays. And we'll be back next week. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be doing daily shows on these as well. So tune in tomorrow. Tune in every day. Not all the shows will we go through the entire card, but we're going to go through sharp trading information, plays that look interesting, and of course a little bit of education in all of these shows as well, as it's a new product for us, and it's something new in the sports handicapping general space on the internet. You guys know we always blaze the trail here at PickDawgz. Everybody else just tries to copy us. I'm sure you'll see similar products at other sites, but why not try the original? This is where all the sharps or the sharpest are, and we'll bring on a roster of sharps for you, and you guys will just be absolutely floored. Anyways, this is Mitch I see he's back. So let me get him back. There he is. I thought you had a camera overheat there, but anyways,
I
You know,
think
it's
it's
just
the show that made the camera overheat. We've had a lot of good stuff on here.
Yeah, it's a great show. A lot longer than I had hoped it would be for a recorded video, but it is what it is. I'll be sitting there, and when this finally gets out later on this evening, it'll be a real edit job by myself to try and get all this information in. One more time, Mike, where can they find out about the sharp trading plays?
So if you go to the Pick Dawgz website, use the drop down link where the premium tab, premium plays, you'll see the sharp trading plays. There's a phone number. You call that phone number or text
at the bottom of the screen,
right
right
at the
here,
bottom of the screen.
right here.
I am the only one that's going to answer the call. You're only going to speak to me because I want to make sure anybody that joins the program fully understands what we do here, and I want everybody to be very successful. So
I want
go
everyone
ahead.
to remember, though, that the sharp trading plays is high volume, and it's not just for the person that likes to bet, I see, 60 college football games, I like to bet 30 of them. This is like for the person that really, when we're talking high volume, we're talking about like stock trading, like you see day trading on the floor. It's closer to that than it is to, betting on the Rams or against the Rams or something like that.
Mhm.
The Dime Club, a little bit more selective with the plays, not as many plays with a higher kind of conversion percentage per play, while the sharp trading plays, the idea is to have just a small percentage that you need to win, but rolling it over and over and over and over again, that small percentage becomes a very, very large number over time.
Absolutely.
But anyways, Mike, thanks for joining us. Thanks for going over the card. Probably a little bit longer than we wanted it to be, like maybe 25 minutes longer than we expected it, but that's okay. More is more, and less is more sometimes, but not in this case. Like I said, we're going to have a daily show, basically Mike and myself going over sharp trading plays, just probably a little bit quicker than this, probably a little bit earlier release than this, and possibly a live addition to it as well, maybe even on game day or at halftime. We'll have other shows with Eric Pathy as well as Al McMorty introducing his all access Al McMorty coming up exclusively here at Pick Dawgz. I'm excited for it, and I know Mike is too. I get to see Al's plays early, so I know he had the Falcons and he had the Rams with the good number last week as well. Just two of the things that I saw that he had.
I talked to him about it. We were both, because he's a sharp. He gets it. He's been in the business long enough. He really understands the value of early line movements and getting it in. So, guys, as sharp as they come.
Yep, I'm excited. I'm excited about sharp trading plays. Call the number, text the number, text, and then call, then text. Do whatever it is. We'll answer all your questions for you. You'll talk to Mike personally. If not, possibly Eric or Eric and Mike, or whatever the case may be. But thanks everyone for joining us. Make it a winning week. We will see you tomorrow with more information here. Sharp trading plays. This is Mitch. Make it a winning day.
Mike.
And Mike. I already said for Mike. I already said that. I said it for Mike. This is Mitch. Let's make it a winning day.